He was about 3 years younger than I was when he was killed by police.
He was about 3 years younger than I was when he was killed by police.
Michael Stewart was an art student.
Michael Stewart was an art student.
I had just left college.
I had just left college.
He was making his living working at a bar in the Lower East Side.
He was making his living working at a bar in the Lower East Side.
Most of us lived on the Lower East Side.
Most of us lived on the Lower East Side.
Although we didn't know him personally, he was part of our community.
He was part of our community.
Today, I'm in my 50s.
Today, I'm in my 50s.
I'm able to teach younger people.
I'm able to teach younger people.
Had he not been murdered by police,
Had he not been murdered by police,
he would be doing art.
he would be doing art.
He would be teaching students.
He would be teaching students.
And that is how I understand
That is how I understand
white privilege.
white privilege.
That he is not here today,
That he is not here today.
that he might be speaking to you,
That he might be speaking to you.
and therefore I have to be here
Therefore, I have to be here
to speak to you.
to speak to you.
And so we're here
So we're here,
continuing this struggle.
continuing the struggle.
I am extremely depressed
I am extremely depressed.
that the same thing that happened to Michael Stewart
The same thing that happened to Michael Stewart
continues to happen to people today
Continues to happen to people today
who might be my students.
who might be my students.
But it gives me hope
but it gives me hope
that we're still here protesting.
that we're still here protesting.
So thank you for coming out.
So thank you for coming out.
Free Mumia Abu Jamal.
Free Mumia Abu Jamal.
And all political prisoners.
Our group, World War III Illustrated,
World War III Illustrated
is a group of cartoonists
is a group of cartoonists
who collectively
who collectively
publish a magazine
publish a magazine
to get political comic books out
to get political comic books out
in a form that is not censored.
in a form that's not censored.
We experience censorship
We experience censorship
in all the places where we work
in all the places where we work
as illustrators.
as illustrators.
It is rarely called censorship.
It is rarely called censorship.
It is rarely admitted that it is political,
It is rarely admitted that it's political.
but we understood it as political
We understood it as political
from the first moment we experienced it.
from the first moment we experienced it.
Therefore, we understood that we needed a collective
That we needed a collective
that we control.
that we control.
And therefore, we were able to publish
And therefore we were able to publish
the work of Mumia Abu Jamal,
the work of Mumia Abu Jamal
in the early 80s.
in the early 80s.
Thank you.
I'm not letting him off the hook yet. Mic check.
Mike check.
I'm not letting him off the hook yet
Not letting you off the hook yet.
because I did my first reading through comic books. Comic books were a big influence on my life.
Comic books were a big influence on our lives.
But instead of learning about superheroes,
But instead of learning about superheroes,
none of which had any melanin on their skin.
none of which had any melanin on their skin.
Oh, pause for the cause.
Pause for the cause.
First of all, are you safe and sound?
Yes, they are.
We have not been tortured or locked up yet. We have
If not been tortured or locked up yet.
And Isabel is here with us, strong as ever. So, the person we had an appointment with, was head of the mailroom.
Head of the mailroom.
And that person is not here today
That person is not in today
because she's observing the Jewish holiday. And we wish Governor Cuomo would take the message of Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, seriously, and close down Attica in atonement. In atonement for the crime of massacring innocent people back 41 years ago.
41 years ago.
So, with that as a background, we will not meet with the head of the mailroom. The person who sent down, I didn't announce it, but somebody sent down a note to me. About an hour ago. With two employees. Who came to get the petitions. These petitions are serious. People made a commitment in writing. We don't give up those petitions just to anybody. No disrespect to the workers. But we want those petitions recognized seriously. So we told them that. The case has now been switched. To the Office of Public Safety. And Attica and prisons are under the jurisdiction of that office. That person is also not here today. And I hope is atoning for the sins of her bosses. But we were promised that we will have a meeting with her. And I'm supposed to call tomorrow to set up that meeting with her. Are you all ready to back that up? Are we going to keep coming back until Attica is closed? That's what I told them, that this is not a short-term thing. That's what I told them. That this is not a short-term thing. That this is not a one-day stand. That we'll be back. Again and again. Until they close Attica. I mentioned Sarah Kunstler's name. And the fact, the legacy she brings with her. I mentioned the other well-known personalities. Who were at the rally on September 14th. And I told them that this is a serious movement. Which has thousands of people right now behind it. And it will grow and grow. And that they had better meet with us. This was a beginning. A great show of spiritual strength. The kind of atmosphere we had. The slogans. The fact that people stayed. And the fact that we're all working together. Means that in the long run. We will win. Venceremos. We learned from the Cubans. We learned from the Venezuelans. We learned from many, many struggles around the world. That when you are right, and you keep on fighting, you will eventually win.
I check.
We want to hear from the rest of the delegation.
The rest of the delegation.
So we'd like to hear from Joseph Harris, who's holding those petitions for dear life.
Very valuable.
What we are doing
Is getting people to become aware.
racism has been applied to us.
The racism
Of the
racism
and being applied to us in prison.
The racism that being applied to us in prison.
Especially some that not even done nothing, but are still there.
Especially those having done nothing who are still there.
Peace.
Peace. Last. Thank you. Give it up for Joseph. Your brother.
Joseph just said, he will always be here.
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 And we will all always be here.
And we will always be here. Last but not least, we're going to hear from our future.
We're going to hear from our future.
Isabel.
We want those petitions
We want
Those petitions
to be handled with care,
to be handled with care
like any type of valuable jewelry,
by any type of valuable jewelry.
even if it's important paper.
Even if it's important paper.
Governor Cuomo, or needs to read them,
Needs to read them.
and the others
And the others
who can tower
tower
over the situation
over the situation
of the 41 years
of the 41 years
of Attica.
of Attica.
We want them to see the papers,
We want them to see the papers.
to know that what they are doing is wrong,
To know that what they are doing is wrong.
and that torture and hate is not supposed to be.
And that torture and hate is not supposed to be.
So, we'll just end with a chant, and everybody will go home.
Thank you, King.
Next steps.
Oh, yes. Thank you, thank you.
Do you aware the city council
tomorrow. Should somebody announce it?
I don't know if they announced it today, but
Let's step. Like doing that.
Bye, Sarah. Bye, Sarah. Bye, Jack.
Bye, Jack.
Just wait one moment. Long-term struggle
Long-term struggle
requires always planning
always planning
for the next step.
for the next step.
We have planned the next step.
The next step.
The next step is a collective conference call
The next step is a collective conference call
to talk about some of the other ideas that are around.
Talk about some of the other ideas that are around.
So that we advance. Every time we take an action.
Every time we take an
action.
The conference call,
Conference call.
yes, is scheduled for October 3rd.
October 3rd.
Wednesday, okay, Wednesday night
Wednesday night
at 8 p.m.
at 8 p.m.
Please join it.
Join it.
Come with your ideas,
Come with your ideas,
your suggestions,
your suggestions,
and your commitment to work.
And your
your commitment to